Welcome to the Vault podcast and reviews where music still matters. You can check out everything we're doing at facebook.com/the Vault RVWS, youtube.com/C/the Vault reviews. We're on Stitcher, at the Vault Music 1 for Twitter, at the Vault Reviews on Instagram, and send us anything you feel like sending us. thevaultmusic1@gmail.com. All right, we got Robbie D back to review another album with us today. We're going to do Johnny Winter, Saints and Sinners from 1974. But before we do that, one announcement I did want to make is that we are officially on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it if you could go to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review. That'll help us kind of, hopefully boost up the charts a little bit and get some more popularity, get some more people to hear our thoughts on some of these bands. And one other thing I wanted to touch on is we had a listener reach out to us, kind of telling us about his new album that's coming out. And he contacted Robbie, actually. So, Robbie, I'll let you take it.
Yeah, for sure. He contacted me on Twitter, actually. His name is Brandon Cordoba. He makes, like, instrumental albums. So this is kind of like he's just coming out with a new album. It comes out on February 12th of this year. So coming up here next week, actually, it'll be released on Friday. It's called Black Diamonds. I did get a chance to listen to it off of his Bandcamp. Real cool, man. It's real chill. It's like a mix of like R&B, hip hop, a little bit of like jazziness to it. It's got a real good flow from song to song. There's no singing or anything on it. It's just straight instrumental, which is pretty cool. Because when I listen to stuff like that too, it makes me want to freestyle on it. So I used it for that as well. But it's a real chill, pretty cool thing he did that's coming out next week.
Reminded me a lot of the Portishead stuff with no singing.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like chill, slow hip-hop beats. They don't have a whole lot to them, but are still pretty intricate at the same time,
Right, and then the jazzy feel and kind of the R&B stuff. I mean, it's a good mix of everything you said. You can go check out his current stuff right now at Brandon Cordoba. That's BARANDONCORDOBA.bandcamp.com. There's a free album there you can check out, and then you can check out his new one that's coming out. So, yeah, definitely check that out. We love supporting other artists. Now, on to the review. Here we go. I love presenting you with these because I know it's not stuff you normally listen to. And regardless of whether you end up liking it or not, there's nothing better than presenting a new style or a new artist or something crazy to somebody who wouldn't normally listen. So I don't know how big you are into 70s rock and if you even know who Johnny Winter is, but what were your kind of first impressions?
Well, first off, I'd never heard of the dude before. So when I looked it up too, it's like he's kind of bluesy, which that's kind of what I thought he was going to be a blues artist from the first little bit I had checked out from him. But he's kind of got like a bluesy rock feel to him, and I love the blues. He's an accomplished producer too. I read that he actually produced 3 Grammy-winning albums for Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
So that I thought that was really cool. Muddy Waters is my favorite.
Too, I thought.
Yeah, they played together for sure. Yeah, Muddy Waters is one of my favorite blues artists. So I mean that's real cool. Yeah, man, I dug the album. Like you said, it's not something I normally listen to, so that's cool to always check out something new for sure.
So, it's a good mix of 70s rock, but like you said, it's very blues-oriented, but not like the really slow, I like to call it the barbecue cook-off blues.
Right.
Just kind of the generic stuff you always hear at those bikers, blues, and barbecue kind of things.
Yep.
This is a lot different than that stuff. There's even some like slight elements of funk in this, and maybe even a couple hints of gospel. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I wrote that in here too. What I wrote about it was had an amazing groove to it. It was real bluesy, funky, and even like a little bit of southern rock feel to it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, he's from Texas, so you can hear the Texas in the songs. Like it sounds like he's from Texas.
So the music isn't exactly like the heaviest thing for this time even. I mean, Sabbath, Led Zeppelin's heavier, and then there's some other ones that, the more obscure artists that I probably am the only one that knows that, well, I'm sure review at some point. But anyhow, it's still solid. It's still rocking solid music. I wouldn't say, well, I'll wait to get into my complaints about it. What else? Do you have anything else you want to touch on real quick on the music?
Well, he's an amazing guitar player. First off, he shreds plays some licks, if you will. He gets down pretty well. Rolling Stones actually rated him 63rd out of 100 greatest guitarists of all time.
Oh, that's cool.
Gives him a little bit of credibility. Because when you sent him to me, like I said, I just looked him up on Wikipedia and kind of got a little background on him before I listened to him. But yeah, I also read that he had an affair with Janis Joplin back in the day too.
Interesting.
All right, so it's kind of a random fact that I picked up.
Hey, that's what we like, the random facts thrown in.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed the use of like the brass instruments, the
Yeah.
woodwind instruments and stuff in it too. That was kind of not something I'd ever really heard with like rocky blues like that, you know.
So moving on to the vocals, pretty cool. One thing I like, it was, he's got those gritty parts, kind of where he's trying to be bluesy or heavier. But
Right.
then there's also like the random James Brown-esque like squeal.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So what were some of your standout songs on this for you?
My favorite song was "Hurtin' So Bad." I really like it. It was a really cool song. It had a real good groove to it. Like, most of the songs do. It had some funk to it as well. The lyrics were great. It was just it was a good listen. And that would have to be my favorite one on there. What do you got?
I got 3 songs: Bad Luck Situation, Dirty, and Rolling Across the Country. I think those are my favorite songs on this album because they're more riff driven. And we're going to jump straight into the complaints on this, and that when I think 70s rock or heavier 70s music, even 70s funk, shoot, even disco,
Right.
I'm expecting it to be like a riff driven style of music. I'm not trying to listen to like patty cake music. The riff carries it, like for this era. I mean, there's different styles of music where there's a guitar implemented, and maybe the riff isn't quite as important. But just like, for anybody who doesn't really know what I'm talking about, think of the opening riff of Iron Man by Black Sabbath,
Right.
or the Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin, that opening riff. Like, everybody typically will know those riffs, and that's kind of what drives the song. For these, there wasn't a lot of that. I mean, that was really my only disappointing thing, but that's a huge part to me in 70s rock. So that's really my only complaint. Just a few, like I said, those 3 songs that I listed had some standouts, but at the same time, there wasn't anything that I really disliked. I just thought it was just a bunch of like average songs with a couple standouts. What'd you think?
That's what I thought. It was pretty average. It definitely wasn't one of my favorite albums that I've ever listened to before. And I know, he's blues. I mean, he's playing the blues, but I just don't really buy it. You know what I mean? Because when you hear the blues and stuff like that, I expect it to be like
it's gonna grab you. Yeah.
Penetrating riffs. You can feel the pain in their voice. You know what I mean? Like, they're feeling it. I just don't buy it from him for some reason. Maybe it was just this album, but
hey, I totally agree. I'm right there with you.
I didn't buy it from him, so that was really the only complaint I had was didn't have those penetrating riffs. I want to feel it in my soul whenever I listen to blues music, and I just didn't get that from this album. So
exactly. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about pretty much all the 70s rock bands. Yeah. Of any type, the heavier stuff, maybe a little softer stuff, whatever, even disco. Like, I can get down to some disco. Like, I can fist pump and headbang to disco because it's got that kind of, that beat to it and that driving force.
That drive in it, exactly.
And that's like all the 70s music has that, regardless of the genre. And this just kind of felt not that. No. I guess. I don't know. I still liked it all. It was just kind of average.
Exactly. Like I said, just didn't snatch me up and like make me listen to it, which isn't always a bad thing. Not everything you listen to is going to do that, So.
No. And I have this album on my iPod, and it stays there. I'm not taking it off. Yeah. I have all the tracks on there, so sometimes, you get an album and some of the tracks might suck, so you just leave them off. But I've got all of them on here, and I listen to it pretty frequently. So, all right, let's jump into the review. 1 star being the worst, 5 star being the best. What'd you give this?
I gave this one a 2 out of 5. It was my favorite that we listened to. I really, after I read about him first, I expected a little bit more out of the music since he had produced all these Muddy Water albums and worked with all these huge artists. And so maybe I shouldn't have set myself up like that. But I gave it a 2 out of 5.
We're pretty close. I gave it a 2 3/4 just because the whole entire thing is average with, a couple of standout songs, but no driving riffs. So it's got to knock down just a little bit below average for me. Yeah. But yeah, I think we pretty much hit on all the pros and cons. And I've heard other Johnny Winter stuff. This is just kind of the random album we decided to do because that's what we like to do.
Yeah.
And there's other Johnny Winter stuff that's actually, better than this. And there's some that's probably worse that I even haven't heard. So we'll get to those down the road, hopefully at some point, reviewing those. So Robbie, tell everybody where they can find all your stuff you're working on.
Everything I'm working on, you can go to soundcloud.com/RobNoxious421. I'm also on Twitter, and that'll be @obnoxious 420. So you can look me up in either one.
You can pretty much find me at all social media. It's just Zan Mourning, ZanMourning. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please check us out. Check out everything the Vault has to offer. YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, Podomatic is where you can check out all of our media. Rate, review, subscribe, comment, like, share. Check us out all over social media. And hopefully we'll have some cool stuff planned in the future. So stay tuned. And until the next review, see ya.
Have a good one.